David McGuinness there. Now, what does it take to be able to see into the future? Research, yes. Data, yes. But the insight is at the heart, really, of being able to predict what is coming next. And our next guest, which I have been able to predict because I know who he is, his company was able to predict the outcome of Brexit and the US presidential vote. And the way he did it is he used insights gained from scouring and interpreting social media. And in this digital age, he's not using artificial intelligence, but actual human beings. It's not an algorithm, in other words. So Jean-Pierre Kloppers is the boss of business intelligence firm BrandsEye, which is based in Cape Town. He's with me here now. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
So you look at tweets and posts on Facebook, and what are you looking for?
Well, initially we're looking for just relevant conversation, because a lot of posts about the US elections might be about other things, and that can sometimes muddy it. So we use people to sift through that, and then our machine learning algorithms learn from that. But more importantly is categorizing the sentiment into how does somebody actually feel about Trump or Clinton, and why do they feel that way. So we're not only able to see which way their sentiment is shifting, but actually what's driving it. And that's often missing from traditional research methodologies.
Right, but as it's often been said, Hillary Clinton, for example, did in fact win the popular vote. So there is another layer of complexity here, and that is proportional representation is often missing.
Yeah, well, we were actually looking at, so across the US, we looked at 47 million conversations, distilled that down to a state level. And then
you can pin down what state they're talking
about. We can, even down to a city. In Brexit, for example, we could see of the 21 towns and cities that we looked at, we could see 19 of them correctly, i.e. the votes on the outlying areas going towards leave and in the cities being remain. And we saw a similar trend in the US, how this growing kind of, not so much a like of Donald Trump, but more the mistrust of Hillary Clinton growing long before that played out in the polls. And that's actually where I think the election was won and lost.
So you think she lost it rather than him winning it?
I do. And that's what our data told us. I think towards the end of August, we started seeing the sentiment kind of narrow radically. And that made us realize, hang on, we're seeing a similar dynamic play out to what we saw in Brexit. And we thought this is going to go the same way. So we watched.
What was the dynamic in Brexit then, do you think?
I think in Brexit it was a similar trend where the sentiment was far apart initially, and then as it got closer to the elections, we saw this swell of support for the Leave campaign. And right on the day of the election, it switched again, but it was too little, too late.
Okay. Well, we'd like to know what's going to happen this year, but of course there isn't much chatter about it probably just yet, and we're probably too far away from the election to call it, are we? Because I'm talking about French elections, German elections, you know, the Netherlands, Italy, we don't know what's happening there.
We don't yet, but I think the lessons we can learn from 2016 is that social media has come of age on the one side, and on the other hand, if execs are using artificial intelligence to try and understand what's driving customer sentiment or the public sentiment, you more often get it wrong than right. And there's this treasure trove of data within the social media landscape that, if mined correctly, it can actually give you that actionable insight to make better decisions.
Thank you. We're going to talk to you a bit later on in the year, I hope. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
And